Hey guys, Ash from Edge and Goddess here. So I'm back here today with what you can see is a Nociel Angel Feather deck profile. 5G's collection is due to hit in a few days here in the US for the English meta, and I believe Friday is the 20th, and that's when the 16G zone rule goes into effect. So before that goes into effect, where there will probably be changes to this deck, I thought that since we don't have a Nociel 4 grade 3 deck on the channel, that I would make one and play test it and kind of, make sure that it's working very well. So this is one I've been play testing for a while now actually, and it works very well. It's very competitive. I would say that it's pretty skill intensive as far as Vanguard decks go. So yeah, this is that. And as of today, this card here, the Doctoroid stand trigger, has been announced as a one of, restricted to a one of in the Japanese meta. It's very good, but we'll go over that in a bit. But I figure I'd show you guys the build before it changes for the new 16G zone meta, which I believe I'll get our cases in either today or tomorrow actually. So today being Tuesday, of course. So I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video up, but hopefully before the 20th. So we're going to start off the top here. We have our stride zone. So as you can see, we start off with Atmos. He's just there because he's a Cray Elemental. I imagine this is going to change into some type of G Guardian Cray Elemental for the next 16G zone build. But he's there because you need a Cray Elemental in G. And that's going to be a whole nother thing that we'll go into. So following up that, we have Uriel. And he's basically a Soul Blast 2. When he's placed on Van, you can pay the cost if you do return all damage to deck. Shuffle your deck, and for each card, return this effect, put the top card of your deck into damage zone face up. So he can put some power plays for you. And also, if you have a lot of good stuff in your damage zone for whatever reason, and you just want to put them back in the deck, he's also good for that. So he's mainly there as a tech. I run 2 of the Nociels. She is a choose 2 rear guards, put them into damage zone face up. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have a Heartwind Nociel, pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 cards from damage zone and call them to separate rears. Then, if the unit called with this effect has Nociel's card name, this unit gets +5. So, she's alright. I think the real gem of the deck is the grade 3 Nociel though, but before we get straight into that, so much reason here. Okay, I run 4 Raphaels. She basically is a once per turn flip herself and heal damage. So she's just straight up heal. She's really good depending on how you play it. And since damage is resource for Angel Feather, it's a good way of controlling resources too. Then we run the Love Sniper Nociel. She's a grade 3 and probably the star of the deck. She has a Counterblast 1 when a card Nociel is put into your damage zone. You can pay that cost. If you do, and that card is face up, put that card into your hand and put the top card of your deck into damage face up. Choose a card from your hand and put it into your damage zone face up. When this is placed on Van, you can pay that cost. If you do, choose a card from damage zone and put it into your hand. So a lot of nice interesting combos with her to plus heavily, which we'll talk into, but she is really good and the reason why Nociel is really viable as a deck. Then I run 1 copy of this Unicorn here. It's a resist, and it's a Counterblast 1, and you place it in the rear, pay the cost, and heal a face-up damage. Then when it leaves, look at the top 2 cards in your deck, search for one of them, put into damage, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck. So it heals a damage when it's out, and when it leaves, you take a damage. And then we have 2 of this Elemental here, and it is a Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on rear, if there is a face-up Cray Elemental to your G-Zone, so that's why we run Atmos, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your lock cards, unlock it. So the thing with this deck is that it is absolutely crushed by Link Joker, and you have to run these pretty much at least 2, I would say, maybe 3 if you're really heavy meta with Link Joker in it. But you want to run 2 because you don't want to ever get stuck versus Link Joker, and you're basically screwed if you're fighting against Link Joker and you don't run these. So it's just there so that you can keep your stuff unlocked. So the reason why you can run 4 grade Nociels or 2 of these or whatever is these girls. Sariel. So she's a Counterblast 1, and you place her in rear. If you have an Angel Feather Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 Angel Feather, put it into your Angel damage zone, and shuffle your deck. If you put a card into your damage this way, choose a face-up card from your damage zone and put it into your drop zone. basically, she lets you get your Nociel or your grade 3 or your whatever else that you need, essentially. So whatever you need in damage, she lets you get it. Then we run 4 Nurse of Broken Heart. Probably one of the most broken Angel Feather cards right now. She is a GB1, of course. When your card is put into damage zone, choose one of your Vanguards and that unit, and this unit gets +2. So since pretty much everything in Angel Feather puts cards in damage zone, she is very easy to trigger. She gets you insane columns, and also the reason why running stands in this deck isn't too bad. She gets you pretty high power columns. Then we have Nociel, grade 2. She is a choose an Angel Feather from hand and put it into your damage zone when this is placed in the rear. If you have an Angel Feather Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from damage zone and put it into your hand. It's a very simple effect. 3 Stride Fodders. It searches for the Gavrail, but we don't run Gavrail in this variant. I'm sure with the new Angel Feather support, Gavrail might become an attractive option, but for now, I think this is probably the best Angel Feather build. So 3 of those, because you want to Stride, and running only 4 grade 3s, it's going to be harder to Stride. You don't need to Stride that much though, but you should win before you have to Stride that much. So then we have the Pegasi, which is a 7k, and when a card is put into damage, gets +2k. So just the booster version of this with no GB cost, and of course doesn't give anything to your Vanguard. Then we have the Nociel. This card is very expensive right now, surprising enough, because she used to be like a $3 card or something. So choose an Angel Feather from your hand and put it into your damage zone. When this is placed on guard, if you have an Angel Feather Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your damage zone and put it into your hand. So she basically swaps damage. But if you have cards like this on the field that are active, then you can get +2k to her in the Vanguard, and some other shenanigans appear. But there's some nice stuff with that too. Then we run 4 of Nociel. She is the regular Perfect Guard from GB6. You can run any Perfect Guard. I'd recommend though that you run her or the Celestial one. I think those are the only generics that Angel Feather has, because you don't really care if they're attacking your Vanguard most of the time, because you want damage anyway. Because damage is your resource in Angel Feather, and it lets you do a lot of plays depending what's on in damage. So you're going to want to protect her though, essentially, because she pretty much wins your games. So that's why you want Perfect Guards that can guard her. Then I run 4 Doctoroid. This is one of the best cards ever printed, I believe. It's a GB1, Counterblast 1. Put this, at least in this context, put this unit at the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 cards from your damage zone. Put them at the top of your deck, shuffle your deck, and for each card, put with this effect, put the top card of your deck into your damage zone, face up, draw a card. Not only does it let you draw, it shuffles itself back in. It triggers damage zone effects, and it gives you new Counterblast. It is it's too good, actually. It probably should have been a double rare. I don't know why it's a common, probably because it's a stand trigger. But this could have been a double rare easily. It could have been a triple rare pretty easily. It's just too good of a card, and there's a reason it's being restricted right now, because it pretty much makes Angel Feather almost and pretty much broke. Which I really like, because stand triggers aren't really used that much in comparison to crit triggers and whatnot, and even draw. So the fact that G-Era is pushing more stand triggers and doing stuff like that is good in a way. And I think that this kind of builds out Angel Feather as a top tier deck. Because I mean, before this, Angel Feather didn't really have a top tier deck. I mean, there were times where it had like nice blast cannon builds, but in general, there wasn't any consistent top tier deck. But this is a consistent top tier deck, at least before 16G zone. So then we run the Nociel. She's if you have a Vanguard Angel Feather, this unit gets put this into your soul. Choose an Angel Feather from a hand, put it into your damage zone. Choose a card from your damage zone and put it into your hand. So she's kind of a -1, but if you really need to use her, you can. But she's mainly here because you have the whole Nociel engine, so you want to run a lot of the Nociels. Then I run 4 of the Critical Hit Angels. She's essentially a Margle, putting soul +3 something. You might not even ever use her for that, but she's just there so that you have options. And with a deck like this, you want options. And then of course we run the heal that when it boosts it gets plus 3k, so it's a 6k booster. Then it shuffles back. Yeah, at the end phase. And then we have Turiel. She is if you have a Vanguard Angel Feather, this unit gets Blast 1. Put this into Soul and choose an Angel Feather from hand and put it into your damage zone. Choose a card from your damage zone and put it into your hand. So she combos very well with Sarios to get you stuff. So let me see if I can show you guys some. Let's knock that camera. Show you guys some build of some sort, or some field. So let's say. So we have Nociel, whatever reason, right? You have some damage. Some of the plays that she will do in this build is play something like this, right? Heal, heal damage. So you play this behind the Vanguard, and you use it to heal the damage. Say for whatever you can use here. So, a field like this. So you played. So you played this, and then counterblast, heal damage. So now you're back to 4. And these trigger, of course. So +2, +2. You know what? That was gonna get confusing. Okay, so I have some dice. So that triggers once, +2, and these both trigger in here, so +4, and this +2, and of course this gets +2. So you don't even have to do this first, but I'm just doing it this way. So you do this, kind of blast, right? For whatever reason you didn't strike this turn. So put this on top of the deck. Put this on top of the deck. And then you're going to heal 2. Choose 2 from damage for these 2. Put on top of the deck, shuffle the deck. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So doing a lot of that stuff, right? And then I take 2. And then I draw a card. So you take 2. These trigger twice on here. So +8. And then they trigger twice for themselves. So just easy to do that. This triggers twice. So it comes a 6. And then you can, if you have more of these, it's easy to get these, so you can keep doing it. But so now you got a Nociel in damage. Now blast something here. Its effect. Put this in hand. And put the top card. Say this is the top, right? Into damage zone. This triggers again. And then, of course, this triggers on here. This is a Nociel, so you counterblast, put this in hand, take another damage. So you can see how this keeps going, and you can keep triggering it off. So this is why this is good. So when you ride this, you can choose a card from hand. So say that you have this in hand, right, and you want something else, or say I want this. So I put this in here, take this out, this triggers counterblast because I just put a Nociel in. Take this out, and then something else comes in, and if it's a Nociel, oh look, see look, I'm plussing, from writing here, I +2 already. Because I broke even when I got, well, +1, I think, essentially, actually. So, switch to card, +1, so broke even, +1. So, it lets you get your Nociels back pretty easily. And then this thing is, let's say, that you have a Sariel, right? Let's say you're grade 2. You don't have a grade 3. So you would play this, you would counterblast, you would look for the grade 3, put it in here, put this in soul, counterblast. Counterblast itself, put this in soul, switch, there you go, there's your grade 3. Or your Prey Elemental, or whatever it is that you're looking for. So Stride is okay too. You have the Nociel thing, but I think more for, like, you'd use this first off if you're fighting Link Joker, just so that you can activate your Link Joker stuff. You only run 2 Nociels right now, and it's pretty decent. You can do some crazy shenanigans with this, with you choose 2 regards, put them into the damage zone. At the end of the battle, this attacks. And you can get more attacks, like this lets you play stuff like your shields and whatnot. And this, you can play this as boosters. Just for effect, you can eventually get it back to your hand anyway. Because you gotta remember that with Angel Feather, you have so much damage swapping in this deck that anything in your damage zone, you can pretty much consider it a card in your hand, because you can get it fairly easily. But most of the time, by the second or third stride, the game is going to be over anyhow, unless I'm sure G Guardians are going to change that. But if you ever if games drag on, or you feel like you need to, you can always use her to heal. And Pegasus is pretty good as a heal, because not many clans are going to be able to deal with the Pegasus, the one that comes back here. And then this card, you can literally, like, because you're running 4 of these, it's going to be fairly easy for you to get them back. So use it, shuffle it back right, you draw a card. If you draw it, that's great. You can draw this, and you're doing 2 more damage checks, so you gotta realize that. So you have pretty much 3 chances to get this again, 3 chances to get a Nociel, which would proc your grade 3, giving you free pluses, and pretty much 3 chances to get anything else. So you gotta think that you're gonna have you're gonna sift through this deck pretty easily, and it's almost pretty much I'd say it's pretty much a toolbox deck. You can pretty much search for anything that you need. But this is why this deck is very powerful, because you have cards like Broken Heart. She makes your Vanguard strong, even if you're not Stride. Your Vanguard pluses you heavily, and because it has a good ability with the Nociel, and you have cards like this, you can pretty much toolbox anything in your damage zone. So, yeah. So hopefully I did an okay job explaining this deck, because I know that a lot of people know that Nociel is a pretty good deck. If you're in the Vanguard competitive scene, you know. But a lot of people don't know how the deck plays. So hopefully this gives you guys a preview, or get you guys some knowledge. You use this in combo with this to get pretty much any card in your deck. So this is why 4 grade 3s isn't a problem. Protect her with your Perfect Guard, because she gets you crazy numbers. This card pretty much damage and flips for you, and it lets you draw. And in fact, some games I forgot that you get to draw with that. So the fact that you can draw with that is even better. This swaps stuff. This card. Oh, before I forget, her Get Nociel card ability works on the enemy turn. So let's say I have this, or whatever, right? This damage. So I do this to guard a whatever attack, right? I swap this in here, it hits the heal trigger. So I have another 10k guard in my hand. This then procs, so I can counterblast, put this in here, and let's say I'm just lucky, this goes in because of that effect. I do it again, and then this procs. So I just got 2 extra 10k guards in my hand for no reason at all, pretty much. And if this is here, this procs too. So again, some of the crazy stuff that happens with this deck, and a lot of it, a lot of the plays that you make, I'm gonna say are gonna be skill based, in that you're gonna need to know the right plays to make. But essentially, if you can get some of these combos off, you'll be pretty smooth sailing. But yeah, hopefully that gets let you guys know more about the deck if you want to build it yourself, or if you're fighting it, just kind of what you got to look out for. Definitely kill off the nurses if you fight them, and yeah, that's just some of the advice I can give you. Just watch out. With that said, though, this has been Ash from Edge and Goddess. Hopefully that's been educational for some people, and yeah, I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.